All right, for the drawing, for the flyers, we're going to use a Google Drawing. So we're going to come in here and we go to Google Drawings. This is basically just a big template. You can see the little checkerboards, meaning it's transparent for us to do whatever we want on. So we're going to create a flyer. First thing, we need some background color. So the background color is actually going to end up being the border color. So as you right click on here and you go to background, pick, like a vibrant color that will be a nice border, right? So then once we have this, we'll come up to our shapes and we're going to grab a shape, one of these ones here. I think maybe I'll go with this guy. And then drag this so that this will become the area we actually are working it within, right? Leaving the rest as our border. Now I do not like that color, so I'm going to go to white. This is, remember, fill color, and this is the outline color. So you don't even need an outline color if you don't want. Or one thing that's kind of cool, depending on what you're aiming for, you can give it a color and maybe give it some width, right? So I'm going to bring this in just a touch. So now my border is even extra cooler. All right, so I got my stuff all ready to go. So a flyer does two things. It catches someone's eye, right? Color, big stuff, and then it gives them a little bit of information. So right now, I'm going to use word art right here for the big words. So I'm going to say lost turtle, and then I'll hit enter. Now that's a little too big, so I'll change it up a little bit. Now, I am not bound by this font, right? I can pick all sorts. If you haven't played around, you can go into more fonts here, and there are actually a bunch that you can choose, and then you just click on one. Let's see. You can just click on one, and then it'll show up in your thing, and so I've turned that into my font for this. Now, the inside color, I'm going to go with green, and then the outside I'll leave it as black. All right, so lost turtle. I've got my big information here. Now I want to add a picture. So here's our images. Now, a couple ways. Upload this snapshot will do your webcam, so unless you're the lost turtle, that's not really going to help us. By URL is fantastic, except if the person whose web page it's hosted on decides to change it, well then your picture will go away. Your albums or anything in Google Drive, or you can search. This searching isn't as good as going to Google Images search. So I've already downloaded one from Google Images of a turtle, so you can go ahead and go grab one, pause the video, and do that. Whoa, way too big. So I'm going to make my turtle a bit smaller. All right, so here's my lost turtle. And now, I've caught their attention. I actually need to tell them something. So I'm going to use a text box here. And so I'm going to say that he answers to the name Horace. If found, please call. Right, so I don't really need that much. So I'm going to change the font to something else. I'm going to make it a bit bigger. Now we can change where these things, so if I want this to be in the middle of this text box, right, so it centers it a little bit there. If I want, I can change the background fill of the text box. So if I wanted it to be sort of a part of the picture, I can do that. Maybe then I want to change the font to white, right? So see how I'm kind of tying some stuff together. All right. And then maybe we should add one other thing. So let's go to our shapes. We have these callouts here. So maybe our turtle is saying, oh, that's a thick line. Let's go back to 1 point. All right, and then we grab the yellow dot. I am actually going to move these guys down a bit. All right, come on. And then so I can bring this up. You just grab the little yellow diamond and you can bring that to there. So I can center this within there, right? Maybe bold it so it looks a little bit. Is there something that looks like a turtle font? I don't know, I think they probably maybe speak like that. All right. So we've got ourselves a flyer. So we've got some objects, pictures, text boxes, word art, border, colors. Very easy to do. Don't forget to save, right? So, well, it saves automatically, but you want to rename these things. Otherwise, you have 14 untitled things there. All right, so for your flyer today, very easy to create.